What I find interesting about the book is that we look at the quality of the Middle East and North Africa region's development over the last 30 years. And what we find is that on the one hand, there's been tremendous success, particularly in the areas of physical capital and human capital improvement, things like roads, access to sanitation, water, electricity, all these things have incredibly improved in the Middle East and North Africa. On the other hand, indicators of natural capital have been deteriorating steadily, and virtually every single indicator that we look at has deteriorated. And in particular, that is true, of course, in keeping with the book's title, for the blue indicators, the indicators for the quality of air pollution, or air quality rather, and the quality of the seas, marine and coastal health. And so what we do in the book, what I find actually the most interesting, is try to present solutions to those deteriorations of natural capital. Yeah, we dedicate quite some space in the book to the issue of air pollution. And the reason being that MENA has a particular problem with air pollution. When we compare MENA, the Middle East and North Africa region, to other regions and on the globe, we find that it's the second most air polluted region, falling just short of South Asia, and exceeding the WHO limits for what is considered healthy air by 10 times. So naturally, that has significant health implications, which to some degree we quantified in the book. And we also go a step further in the book and try to quantify some of these costs in terms of monetized losses. And when we do that, we get to amounts that are the equivalent of about 2% of regional GDP. So it's a significant health and a significant economic burden to the MENA economies, one that doesn't need to be there, and that with some of the smart policies we outline in the book can easily be overcome. In the book, we focus particularly on marine plastic pollution, as this is a particularly important problem in the Middle East and North Africa region. Especially the Mediterranean Sea is amongst the most polluted seas in global comparison. And in the book, we go to some degree into understanding as to why that is. And we find that in parts that has something to do with plastics being all abundant in the Middle East and North Africa and very cheap. So with this kind of economics in place, it is hard to get people switching to the non-plastics alternative. And in the book, we go and discuss in quite some length as to some of the rejigging of the incentive structure and how some policies could overcome that and help in shifting away the incentives from plastic use to more preferable alternatives. Coastal erosion is an important issue in MENA because it eats away continuously at coastal terrestrial areas. What we see are coastal erosion rates that are twice as fast as the coastal average, amounting to about 14 centimeters per year that the coast is giving away to the sea. And that has economic implications, which we try to quantify in the book. And at the same time, also solutions, which we try to elaborate in meticulous detail in the book, trying to point to some of the solutions that help overcome some of these fast coastal erosion rates, ranging from nature-based solutions to better integrated coastal zone management to, of course, also the use of gray and hard infrastructure to stem some of that relentless coastal erosion destruction. Policymakers, I can imagine, would find particular interest in this book because we, in meticulous detail, prepare recommendations for those three challenges that I mentioned earlier. Challenges being air pollution, coastal erosion, and marine plastics. And we prepare the solutions with win-win strategies in mind. Win-win being good on the one hand for these environmental natural resource problems, but at the same time also good for economic growth. And in conclusion, we highlight three important features. On the one hand, the evidence we show in the book is that a more sustainable blue growth path would come with fewer negative environmental consequences. Two, blue or sustainable growth, as it were, has been shown to come with higher rates of return for the investments as opposed to, say, brown growth. And three, relatedly, and finally, we show evidence how important it is to prepare the MENA countries for the blue economies of the future, as opposed to being locked in brown economies of the past.